Lotte Reiniger is a pioneer of early animation in cinema, designing some of the most innovative techniques, such as cutout animation and technologies that would then be adopted and further developed almost a decade later by Disney. And so Disney's production model would soon supersede Reiniger's innovations in the 1930s, and her early work really did pave the ground for his meteoric rise. She remained the sole creator of her films, and she retained her signature style of creating complex shadow box cardboard puppets with innovative effects captured through still motion photography. The process was painstaking and produced really spectacular effects. Reiniger's first work was with the construction of film props, and with her work animating rats in Paul Wegener's The Pied Piper of Hamelin. She earned entrance into an experimental film school. So her first film, The Ornament of the Enamored Heart in 1919, earned her recognition, and with a series of shorts, cemented her name and allowed for her to fund larger projects. In all, she would create over 40 animated films using the first multiple plane camera technique in 1926. And this would later be adopted and developed further by Disney, and is a prototype for the cell animation he uses in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So it was this multi-plane camera that allowed for her to imitate depth and add effects through the addition of soap, sand, wax, and other materials onto the top plane. And she used layered transparencies made of 3 glass plates. And then through positioning of the cardboard and lead figures and the sets, she would, with every 4th frame, create the action of her film. So she also experimented with backlighting using tints to provide scenes with different mood colorings, then also invented a rigging to act like a spider cam hanging over and above her glass plates. So her first feature-length film was The Adventures of Prince Achmed in 1926, and is considered to be the oldest surviving animated feature film that still is around. So she was heavily influenced by the expressionist artists and filmmakers around which she developed her technique, and it can be seen in her own style. This penchant for the exotic and the many transformations of her characters remain a staple of her work throughout her career. Later in 1953, she would produce several Grimm's fairy tales for the BBC, many of which are easily found on YouTube today, including a remake of her 1922 Cinderella, as well as remakes and originals of Snow White and Rose Red, and Sleeping Beauty. The Adventures of Prince Achmed remains her best-known film still today, and it was very popular at its release as it allowed audiences to envision a very transgressive exoticism, propelled in part by the discovery of King Tut's tomb and the touring of its treasures across Europe. So this provides the backdrop upon which many of the expressionists began to introduce Egyptian culture into their work, and Reiniger follows suit here as well. Of special note in the film is the battle between the sorcerers and the many effects that are utilized in this scene in order to construct the spectacle of magic.